So many people, such a vast majority of people would look at this with their untrained eye and say, I see trees and snow, big deal. What's all the fuss about? Who would ever want to go there? Lots of life around here. It's amazing how that the various critters around here can live when we hit temperatures of minus 50 sometimes. Minus 40, 45 is common. And still, sticking up through the snow, Labrador tea. The time to collect that is in the fall, but even now, if you were out there somewhere, there's something. There's always something. You're never without if you keep your eyes open and actually see. So many people just look at things and they see a background without picking out the details. There's a whole load more of Labrador tea just tucked under these branches. You know, if you're out here and you're not doing so good, you could make yourself a really nutritious warm tea out of that. And something warm when you're really cold can, well, I'll tell you, not only does it warm you up and maybe save you that way, but it can be a big morale booster. Maybe give you that little shove to get back up and get going again. If we look in here, most people see trees covered with lots of snow on the ground. And that's the truth, of course. But there's so much more if you know what to look for and understand what you're seeing. These tracks here, and you can see them all over, all up through, they go way over there, over here, through the tree, they're everywhere. Our jackrabbits, varying hair, and they're everywhere. Look at all the trees. Even without cutting a tree, there's more standing dead wood here for firewood than you could burn in a lifetime. And this bush, we're facing to the north. This bush goes James Bay is up there, and there's not really much of anything in between. So, not even a logging camp that I'm aware of. The logging roads go through about 20 or 30 miles north of us here, but they just go along. There's no camps or places to stay up there. The other thing that there is, look at all these trees here, everywhere. These trees here are probably 6 to 7 inches in diameter and pretty darn straight. And there's thousands and thousands of them. There'd be absolutely no problem building yourself a home or a shelter or whatever you thought you needed. Look at here, more. These are probably 7 or 8 inches in diameter. Some of them are 10. Some of them are a bit less, of course. And then there's the snow itself. At the moment, there's more drinking water in front of us here than you could drown in it. Look at all the rabbit tracks in there. They're actually not rabbits, like I said, they're hare. And the snow here, it's not like a city where the snow is gray and dusty from the traffic. That snow is pure white. Absolutely nothing in it but snow. So we have water, we have heat from our firewood, we have unlimited resources that we can use for building materials, for whatever kind of a shelter or a home that we wanted to build. There's rabbit tracks, and I know that there are moose and there are beaver ponds and marshes all over the place up here. So there are literally thousands of beaver, muskrat, partridge. There's grouse, ruffed grouse and spruce grouse. And this just thousands and thousands of square miles of this. if you know what to do, if you've learned the skills and practiced them and studied, there's a bounty here that's unimaginable. You just have to know what to do with it. So it's January 3rd, I believe. So we're into 2020. Should be an interesting year. There was a lot to do in 2019. I had quite a few projects, lots of things that I wanted to build. I got a lot of it done. I still have quite a bit to do. There's going to be more trips out into the bush, quite a bit of ice fishing. I am going to put up a more permanent shelter somewhere in here as a for when I'm out hunting. Then if I, a lot of times animals are usually harvested either first thing in the morning or just before last light. And if you get something large down on the ground, 15 minutes before dark, you're not going to get them out of there in daylight, obviously. So you may very well end up spending the night out there. There's nothing wrong, just circumstances. But the circumstances mean that it's real nice to have, you could put up a tarp, but it'd be real nice to have a place a little more secure than that, where it was not going to be collapsed or torn up or broken down. Maybe where you could have I'm probably going to make a little propane wood stove, propane cylinder, an old propane tank, make myself a tiny wood stove, and I'll just leave it in the shelter when I get it built. And that way I know I can stop in there in inclement weather or for whatever reason and get warmed up, make something hot to eat or a cup of tea or whatever, and even spend the night if it became necessary. So lots of projects for this year. I'm very fortunate. And it's also kind of sad when you think about it, but this part of the country is so pristine and pure, and the reason is it's because of its remoteness. I'm a long way from absolutely nowhere, and it's pretty near unspoiled in here. There are signs of human life activities, a bit of logging, but it's done, without tearing the whole bush down. And this entire county, the entire county where I live, has 211 people. And and this is the result. Nature, very close to what it was like, what it's intended to be like. And I'm so fortunate to be able to enjoy that and experience this in its pretty near natural state. As people as a whole in this world, we really, really desperately need to get a bigger appreciation, a deeper appreciation of what this is all about while we still have it. Because if we lose it, it'll never be like this again. We're a lucky bunch, aren't we? You're pretty lucky dogs. You get to live like you're supposed to. Things to sniff, fresh air, places to move around. And lots, these bunny tracks are closer to the edge here. I don't know if you can see them, but they're, oops, I'm going to sink here. Right across there, I don't know, you might be able to tell that there's depressions in the snow. And they just more or less parallel the direction, and there's a whole lot more in the background. So it must be an upswing. We didn't have many rabbits here. They're actually not rabbits. They're varying hare, snowshoe hare. and they run on cycles like most rabbit type animals do. And oh, back there, it's a little bit hard to tell. It's about 20 feet away in the snow, but it looks like marten tracks. So he's interested in those rabbits also. That's about all we really have to say today. It's just a very short video, just to well, mostly to thank everybody who's been with me in 2019. For everybody who's watched, it means a great deal. It's a lot of encouragement to keep going, and let's hope 2020 is as good. Lots more projects, lots more time outdoors, cast iron chef, everything we can think of to do. These things that I do here, this is where I live. I don't come out here on weekends. This is, well, actually today, even today, is something that I do on a regular basis, whether I was videoing or not. I'm just out for a walk with the dogs. That's a pretty regular thing. We do that pretty much every day. Everything you see me do is pretty much something I was doing anyway, and so now I've been putting it on film or on video. Well, here we are off in a new year. Look forward to seeing you all further down the trail.